But anywho, apparently now, Brian, they are going to start the tournament for the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions because there's not enough belts. The women's division roster doesn't have enough belts. Mercedes has 12 of them alone. Now they're going to have a women's tag team title, and they're going to have a tournament. But before they have the tournament, they had an 8-woman, 4-team, 4-way match with the stipulation that the winners could pick their first-round opponents in the women's tag team title tournament. And that brings us to where we are here. Megan Brain and Penelope Pitstop against Julia Hart and Blue Sky, against Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, against Jamie Hayter and Queen Auda. Did you just say it was a good match?
I said big match. Big match.
Big match. Is big good?
You sounded
is
offended.
Good big?
You sounded so offended that I say it was a good match.
I thought I couldn't believe my ears. It's what I was
That's a big match.
Wondering about.
It felt like Glow. When everyone came out and the matching outfits and their little gimmicks, it just felt like Glow. It felt like Glow. I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean that in a good way either.
Well, yeah, indie wrestlers with a wardrobe budget is what you're saying.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Penelope Ford, I thought she hurt herself when they did that spot in the match where at the same time Megan Bain does a dive over the ropes and Penelope Ford does a moonsault off the top rope to the floor and all the girls. And she landed on her arm and she came up right away holding her arm. But no, I guess she was all right.
Well, if she was all right, she did better than this match, which took up about 15 minutes of TV time before the Dark Horse team, the one that nobody thought, Jamie Hayter and Queenie, won the thing. And they were called the Dark Horse team early in the match. That's how I knew they were going to win it. But while this match may have been meaningless in the overall scheme of things, Brian, apparently, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm being led to believe, it's driven another of these endless small wedges in between a long-time relationship that we thought was going to last for life, but with all these constant little chips, little pieces that are being tapped out of this relationship. Dave and Brian, Uncle Dave and Cousin Bryan Alvarez, again have another disagreement over whether shit makes sense or not. And of all things, it's in this match. Is this correct? I've heard this from several sources.
Well, we've been emailed this by a bunch of people, and this match, of course, was a 4-way tag where the winning team could pick their opponents in the tournament, begging the question, oh my God, how many teams are there going to be in the tournament?
I was going to say, they were fighting all these. All the teams were right here. They just have to stand across the ring and point.
This is half the teams, apparently, from the tournament. But well, listeners have sent over because they always get a kick out of your thoughts on these, and I have not heard this all the way through. Dave and Brian apparently had a conversation about, it's so ridiculous, the bracketing of the women's tournament and how, I guess, it was rolled out or explained.
Or exposed.
Let's go to this audio right now.
At this point, they had not announced the brackets for the tournament. In storyline, they didn't even have brackets yet because we were still getting teams throughout the show getting put together. So I don't know what brackets Tony had that he.
Let me stop it there because he has in the video. There's an image from Dynamite that shows tonight there'll be the bracket reveal. But how could you reveal the bracket if one of the matches is for
in the first round? Yeah.
Let's go back to this.
Which then would also. That would affect every other match because who knows who the team is going to be that wins and the team's going to pick.
Yeah, you could pick anyone. So it would affect the entire tournament, one would think.
Weekend and storyline.
Well, he had him. He said they were going to announce the brackets, and they did.
Dave, you don't understand. He said Saturday he had the brackets, but on this show, teams were still getting put together.
No, he said
so
Saturday,
when this show started, he didn't have brackets.
He said Saturday he was going to announce the brackets.
I know, but he didn't have them when the show started because throughout the show, teams were being put together.
He announced them before the end of the show. He just said he would announce the brackets on the show.
So in storyline, he was hoping the teams would get together during the show.
By the end of the show, he had brackets just as he advertised. That's a silly criticism.
No, Dave, this is not a silly criticism.
Yes,
they were putting teams together.
Let me stop it for a second.
Yeah, they had all this backstage falderall with people. Will you be my partner? So yes, they were still actually making agreements to have teams in this particular show when Tony had said days beforehand, "Yeah, I'll have the brackets."
It's a silly criticism. Let's go back to the silly
but valid.
As the show went on. This is something Ava would do. I'm going to have brackets on Tuesday. Hopefully some teams get together during the show so I can put them in.
He said that they would have brackets on the show.
Yeah, that means as a promoter, he's already got his brackets done. He's just going to announce them.
He never said that. He never said that. He said he would have the brackets announced on the show. If he had the brackets, why didn't he announce them on Sunday or on Saturday?
Because he's a promoter. He wants people to watch Dynamite.
Okay, well then
tune into Dynamite. I'm going to give you these brackets I've made.
And he did.
Instead, he had a blank bracket apparently. And luckily,
he did a story during the show. The storyline was that he had a match put together where the winners of the match, which is this match that we're talking about, would get to pick their first round opponent, and then he would fill in the brackets after that.
And he just with no thought whatsoever. Okay, well, here's the rest of these teams. I'll write them down real quick. Here you go.
It's a weird hill to die on. It's a weird argument to fight against.
Yes, there are other things going on that would be more important, one would think.
That was announced. I don't know what day they announced that, but I think it was yesterday. So obviously he wasn't going to have the brackets at the beginning of the show because they were having a match to determine one of the first round matches then. So he couldn't have the brackets done.
So who was going to be in this tournament if Athena hadn't shown up out of the blue?
He could have
hour and 45 minutes into the show tell Mercedes, I want to be your partner.
He could have had who knows what. That doesn't matter. He had when he announced the brackets, they were a team.
Well, there it is. Once again, the endless defense of Tony Khan's booking and TV layouts from Dave.
You can't, he wouldn't give a crippled crab a crutch, as Buddy Landell would say. You can't get anything out of Dave if it's critical to anything that Tony did, except if it's something Tony did after Dave told him not to do it. Then he's critical.
Is there anything to that, to Alvarez's argument? I mean, he didn't even really make the argument, but if you're billing on your Saturday show, we will reveal the brackets Thursday. Should you expect them? Is it a problem if you don't deliver the brackets right away? If there are still things to determine? Like you said, it's not even just to determine one match. It would have to determine the entirety of the brackets because you could pick anyone.
Well, yes. And see, that's... You can do one of these things, but not all of them. You could advertise, okay, the match we're going to have on TV Wednesday night is going to be the winner gets to pick their opponents in the first round. And then once we find that out, we will assemble all the brackets or assemble all the teams in the rest of the bracket or whatever. That would work. Or you can say, on Saturday's TV, I have the brackets and we will announce them on Wednesday. But they want to do every goddamn thing at the last minute with almost no build or warning, advance notice that anything's going to go on. And that's why apparently they added that match with Mercedes Moon on the pay-per-view where she won that interim women's TV title belt that's defended on Thursdays in the Target parking lot, whatever the fuck that was.
TV championship.
They realized that she was going to go to another one of these outlaw companies the next day and win their title. And they didn't want her to break the record unless it was on their show. So they came up with a girl's title for her to win on their show in an unadvertised match to break the record, and then went the next day and won some other one. Point is, it's all goddamn nonsense. and they're tripping over everything because they just keep doing everything so fast and at the last minute. And Alvarez sounds like he's just fed up with it. Just plan your shit better and give it a little room to breathe.
Well, that was the women's tag. The winner of the match, of course, Jamie Hayter, Queen Amanada. And they picked Sky Blue and Julia Hart for the first round. I'm sure we'll get some surprises, maybe a team from Iceland or South Africa. Who knows? But this is your show.
Do they have women's wrestling on the Isle of Man?
I don't know.
And why don't they have an Isle of Woman since they have an Isle of Man? You know what they all need, don't you, Brian?
No.
A brand new line of work.
Ah, yes.
Just get them completely out of the whole picture of what they're in now and put them in something they'll be more suited for. Now, let's say, for example, that Mercedes Moan, after she's won these 12 belts or whatever, she wants to settle down and sell seashells by the seashore. All she's got to do is call our friends at Shopify. And Shopify will give you the best shot at success that you're ever going to have in your little pea-picking life. Because Shopify has got you from the get-go. They're going to help you with the website design. They're going to help you with the product images. They're going to help you with the descriptions, the discount codes. They're going to help you with social media campaigns, email, and it's all about ching-chong, making money.
It's
having
ka-ching. It's ka-ching, not ching-chong.
Ching-chong.
Ka-ching.
Having that little kid on a bicycle run up to you every day with a bunch of money in their hand and handing it to you. That's right, because folks, and Harpo Marx will be right behind them. Because folks, nobody has bicycle delivery people anymore like Shopify does. They will put your brand, product, or service out there in front of millions of people. They're the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, 10% of all the e-commerce in the United States. They're going to make you ready for a global audience. And then when people start paying, that's what they do. They send out one of these little kids on a bicycle with that little bell.
No, they don't.
And they go pick up your money and they bring it right to you. So all day long, I mean, every 2 minutes, there's going to be some kid driving a bicycle up your driveway going ka-ching and throwing you 76 cents.
Once again, ladies and
you're going to get rich that way.
You're not going to get rich. You're not going to get rich that way. And that is not what's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, Shopify is reliable and trustworthy. We trust them with our online business. You can trust them with yours. And that's what we're really trying to say, Jim.
Yes, and the purple shop pay button. Everybody knows what that means. As a matter of fact, what they're going to do is once you go to shopify.com/JCE and you sign up for your $1 a month trial period where they can show you the incredible difference that they can make in your business and in your whole life, you get that $1 a month trial period, shopify.com/JCE. They're going to put that purple shop pay button right on your front door in place of your doorbell. And every time somebody punches it, that you're going to make money. So every time some stupid son of a bitch comes up to your house trying to sell you aluminum siding and they ring your doorbell, they don't know it, but they just paid you money through that purple shop pay button at shopify.com.
That's not in any way how any of this works. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, Shopify is there to help you in your online business. And you can go on. I can't. You got to take
Well, I'm telling you. And boy, and some of these office buildings in these bigger cities, if they put that purple shop pay button in place of an elevator button.
Yeah, again.
In these big high rises, these people trying to punch that button all day long, it's wired up to your account. That's another way they make people rich.
That's not how it works.
Every time they punch that elevator button, you get paid $4.17, and nobody can figure out what's going on.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, to be very serious, this is a serious company. Shopify is there to help you and your serious business. Everyone wants to make money with their products online. Everyone wants to do well, and Shopify is there.
Yes.
Shopify is there with no help of you. Shopify is there to make sure that your experience is right for you and the consumer. They can handle your e-commerce and so much more. Let's wrap this up before we do more damage, Jim.
And if you've been losing money lately, just look at your credit card bill. It'll say doorbell rang, and you'll be debited $16.
It won't have anything to do with Shopify, but you can have something to do with Shopify. And how can they do that, Jim?
They can turn their dreams into cha-ching and reality. And give yourself the best shot at success you possibly can with Shopify. Your $1 a month trial period can start right now at shopify.com/JCE. That's shopify.com/JCE. And the next time that you go to get in an elevator, before you press the button, just ask yourself, can I afford this? Shopify. Are you still there with me, Brian? You all right?
I'm over here now.
Yeah, right.